Today I wanted to approach this topic in an entirely different way. And the reason for that is this. By a show of hands, if you have been a part of a diversity and inclusion training at some point in time throughout your professional career, will you please raise your hand? And keep it up for a moment and just look around the room. Thank you for that. You can put your hands down. I find it very fascinating. I travel around and I work with government agencies, Army, military, Air Force, academic institutions, Fortune 500 organizations, and the results are very similar. If we look in this room, roughly 80 to 90% of us have been a part of a diversity and inclusion training at some point in time throughout our professional careers, and if that is the case, then why does it seem that there are so few organizations that have actually been able to create a truly inclusive culture where they honor and embrace the various dimensions of diversity that show up in the workplace? From this simple observation, I think that it is safe to say that the way that we've been going about D&I trainings through the 20th century, the first part of the 21st century, though we have some incredible facilitators, some phenomenal messages and presentations, there was an essential piece that is missing. So today I wanted to approach this topic in an entirely different way and introduce to you what we call the next generation of diversity and inclusion, which is a focus on three core elements. The first one is reclaiming our inherent equality. Second one is resolving our self-imposed limitations. And finally, living and working with a state of empowerment which can progressively end the concept and practice of human inequality, which produces those isms. What are the isms I'm talking about? Racism, sexism, classism, and elitism. And we are going to do this in the next 45 minutes with or without the cooperation of other people because it is within our power to do so. I like to say with equitable opportunity, it's pretty much asking the question, am I able to move through the organization, ascending into higher ranks of position and authority without unnecessary barriers that are being put in front of me, that are not put in front of other people? So I think that we've done that fairly well. At least we've started that conversation and are moving in that direction. The one area that we feel we could do much better is the second element. And this is what I would like to spend the rest of our time here on today. And that is an experienced sense of human equality that is embedded within the organization's culture. What do I mean by that experienced sense of human equality? It's a place where people feel as if they are wanted for their diverse membership. It's a place where people feel like they are respected as a person in their unique cultural contribution. It's a place where they feel as if they are valued for their unique creative perspectives that they bring. Now, at this point, I would like to address the cross-sectional element of the population who might experience lack of inclusion in terms of human equality in the workplace. And please follow me here. I would suggest that the critical element that is missing, the critical element that is unresolved on our quest for inclusion is an inherent sense of inferiority. What do I mean by inferiority? Well, this inherent sense of inequality or inferiority is held in place or experienced as this illusion of a superior-inferior dyad that is a programmed part of our culture. What am I talking about? I'm not talking about superiority on the hierarchy of an organization where executives are here, middle management here, and entry-level positions are here. I'm not talking about that type of superiority within an organization. Instead, what I am talking about is when a human being believes that they are superior to another human being, inclusion cannot exist. And maybe most importantly, when we believe as if we are inferior to somebody within the organization, it is at that time that we are immediately excluded from being a part of the culture. So I'm suggesting, until this is resolved for each and every one of us, and some of you may be saying, Jeffon, I don't have this, but just follow me. Until this is resolved for each and every one of us, it will be extremely difficult, probably impossible, to achieve inclusion or anything else that will follow. Now, the key element in terms of the resolution of this sense of inferiority that maybe we're moving around with, is for us as human beings, for each and every one of us to reclaim our inherent equality. Notice I said reclaim. It cannot be somebody coming up to you and saying, you belong here. Patting you on the back and saying, you're welcome here. Or doing something by way of policies and procedures that make you feel as if you're actually somebody who belongs there. If you are unwilling to reclaim this for yourself, it'll be difficult for us to come into the alignment necessary to create inclusion. So what can we begin to do? As we move to this next slide, let me just preface this by saying, for some of you, this may be the first time that you're thinking about this. For others, you may have already spent time meditating or just thinking about these type of ideas. I'm just asking you to stick with me. What I'm interested in most is results. I'm not interested in you becoming a believer as to everything that I'm saying. I'm simply observing the fact that we've been talking about diversity and inclusion for longer than I've been alive, and we have not been able to achieve it, so something has to change. So by no means in 45 minutes are you going to come to a gathering and like, oh man, we got everything we need to go out and create inclusion. I mean, this 45 minutes or I guess me and Tim, this hour and a half or this 3-hour gathering that we had here today, oh my gosh, I know everything that I need to know. That's like me going to the gym and doing bicep curls for just one day. I know I'm a big guy, but like doing bicep curls for like all day and then just walking around just ripped. Like, you would be like, are you serious? You got to keep going back consistently and continue to build that muscle over and over again. Same is true with D&I, diversity and inclusion. We have to continue to sharpen the saw. We have to continue to catch ourselves when we are choosing to act in ways that naturally exclude other people. We have to catch ourselves when we walk into a place and we feel like we're inferior. Or we feel like we don't belong because maybe our skin is tinted a little bit different of a way, or because we are a woman, or because we're LGBTQ, whatever it may be, we need to begin to reclaim that which we may have lost at a very young age. And if we don't, then we're effortlessly continuing to instill it in the children who are coming up behind us. And it's like, when are we going to break this cycle? We are all here walking this planet. We are continuing to create that which the emerging generations will embrace and inherit. Are we willing to call ourselves out on our BS? On the ways that we act like we're making progress, but we're really not? Are we willing to start engaging in difficult dialogues that make us uncomfortable and push us towards transformation? Now, a very simple and subtle way, let me change my voice, a very simple and subtle way that we can begin going about this is a beautiful expression that we call small acts of inclusion.